In a matter of hours, our federal government will shut down, prompting widespread, drastic consequences for our economy and hardworking Kansans and folks all across the country. What makes this situation even more frustrating is that we all know a shutdown is unnecessary and completely avoidable. Even if some won't admit it, the only real path to keep our government open is a bipartisan compromise, and we have a roadmap right in front of us. In May, hundreds of Democrats and Republicans in Congress came to an agreement with the administration to keep our government running. That framework is the only way forward. It's an agreement many in this chamber called a major victory just a short time ago. A shutdown is not a mere political standoff. It's a devastating blow to hardworking Kansans who rely on the essential services our federal government provides. While Kansans I've heard from certainly understand what a shutdown means for their families, it seems that some folks here in DC do not. So let me inform them. Our farmers, struggling with unpredictable weather and economic uncertainty, depend on timely USDA assistance and market-based data to make daily decisions. Yet during a shutdown, those vital resources are unavailable, placing Kansas agricultural folks all across the state in jeopardy. This is unacceptable. Our brave service members stationed in Kansas at Fort Riley and McConnell Air Force Base are currently serving not just here on domestic soil, but all across the world. They've sworn to protect our nation, and their paychecks and the resources that they need to perform their duties are at jeopardy. Their dedication should not be undermined by Congress's failure to do its job. And when thinking of moms and dads who depend on Head Start and other child care programs to educate and care for their children while they're at work, during a shutdown, those vital, affordable services are put at risk, affecting not just the families right now, but the futures of countless Kansas children. And on top of that, folks on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid would likely see an interruption in services that they rely on. Small businesses would encounter pauses in critical financial support needed to run their businesses. Food assistance programs, like SNAP, could be disrupted, leaving Kansans, including women and children, and the elderly, without food. And the almost 20,000 federal workers in Kansas would miss out on their routine paychecks. It is estimated that the 2018 and 2013 government shutdowns cost our country a combined $31 billion, much of which was never recovered. Folks back home are already struggling with higher prices on groceries and gas. They hardly need any more stress and uncertainty at this time. Why aren't we focused on concrete bipartisan solutions to lower costs? A shutdown does the exact opposite of that. There is no reason to walk straight into this unnecessary and avoidable crisis. This level of dysfunction is exactly what makes people so upset with Washington. We, as elected representatives, have the responsibility of safeguarding the well-being of the people that we serve. I implore my colleagues to join me in working across the aisle to advance legislation that's going to prevent a costly, harmful, and completely avoidable government shutdown, and to pass a bipartisan package that authorizes the FAA. We need to see the Farm Bill pass. Those things are set to expire this weekend as well. It's going to negatively impact Kansans' abilities to support their families and run their businesses. The American people deserve a government that works for them and puts their livelihoods above all else. There is no time to waste. The stakes are far too high.